And now, breaking news. The largest LGBTQ Latino pride in America, South Florida's GayOcho Festival, is canceled. Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out, and Queer News Tonight have, for months, pursued details on a sponsorship of support, but details of the 2024 event were incomplete. Today, GayOcho issued a statement to Queer News Tonight saying, quote, "It is with heavy hearts that we share the difficult decision to cancel the Gay8 Festival for 2024. This decision was made after extensive deliberation and understanding that meeting the exceptional standards you've come to anticipate would not be feasible this year," end quote. GayOcho is a reference to Little Havana's 8th Street and the heart of one of America's largest Latino communities. Gay8 is part of Forward Miami. In November, Damian Pardo, GayOcho's well-known executive director, was the first ever LGBTQ plus person elected to Miami City Commission. Alyssa Ramos, Gay8 Festival Chairwoman, told Queer News Tonight, quote, "We are disappointed to announce the cancellation. It saddens us. However, we want to make sure we produce a quality event and just don't have the support from the community like we've had in the past. We are confident we can come back in 2025 stronger than ever," end quote. In an exclusive interview, longtime GayOcho director, Queer News Tonight anchor, and It's Happening Out host, Jonathan Casañas, said, quote, "The decision needed to be made, but I am sad. Not only because we didn't get the support we needed, but I'm sad for those who look forward to the festival every year. People constantly approach me saying how GayOcho impacted their lives. Maybe now, with our first gay city commissioner, we can get the support we deserve back from the city," end quote. The festival was particularly impactful because it was held in the heart of the Cuban and Latino community of Miami-Dade County that has culturally and historically not been inclusive with the LGBTQ plus community. As many as 100,000 have attended the LGBTQ plus Latino Pride event. Everyone remembers World Pride New York, when a large delegation from the Gay8 Festival marched in the World Pride Parade. There was a large hole now in the LGBTQ plus community, and we hope solutions will be found in the future to return Miami and all of South Florida to its prominence for the LGBTQ plus community. Okay, it's so weird because every year I say, I'm gonna go. And I've been living here 10 years and I haven't gone yet. And guess what? Now I can't go because they canceled it. So for those that got to experience it, I'm sure it was a wonderful event, and I'll just have to stick around to 2025.
It was a great event. I remember being involved with Gay8 from its inception, helping to get sponsorships, and I'm just confused about the story when they say they're not having support from the community, and at the end of the story, it sounded like they weren't getting support from the city of Miami, which I'm not really sure where the support is not coming from to put on the festival. If it's coming from the city of Miami, then that's a very serious issue, right? That all LGBTQ organizations would have to look out for. From the governor, they've talked about how can they get rid of LGBTQ organizations altogether, and Republicans are running a lot of these districts, and so if somewhere in there they're refusing to do something to allow it to happen, right? Then that's a very serious issue that our whole community needs to know about.
Well,
we need to show up and vote. You guys, you got to start voting.
You do have to vote, but yes, I didn't do the interview with Jonathan or the leader of Gay8, but they do seem to allude to a lack of support. But you know,
but from where?
But you and I have we've both been around. We know that sometimes you don't put people on blast because you're still trying to woo them back in. So I'm guessing that's maybe not why they're naming names?
I don't know, but I think it's really important. I think, Mr. Reporter here, you need to find out. It's really important if for some reason the support from the city itself, meaning they can't get permits or they're not providing whatever financial support that they used to provide because it's an LGBTQ event, right? Now there's like discrimination coming from our public officials, and that needs to be in every newspaper.
Yes,
But
the hardest
they
possibly.
state
Yeah,
that they
we don't know that yet, though. We don't know.
Yeah,
that.
but
The hardest part
We
about
don't know
this
that.
story, the hardest part about this story is that it's a slap on the other cheek, because just the other day, Pride Fort Lauderdale announced, it wasn't going to happen this year. Now GayOcho is not going to do it. So, it's like, is this a trend that we're seeing, or is this just two unfortunate, unrelated events? I don't know.
I mean, well, they are unrelated. We don't. I guess you said.
Well, but I mean as a trend rather than
as a trend. Yeah, that is something we have to look out for. Pride Fort Lauderdale is just complete lack of faith from the community and severe financial mismanagement. That is why Pride is on a hiatus and sort of glomming onto Wilton Manors and leaving Fort Lauderdale. This, you're right. This still has more questions than we're answering tonight. And
I mean, I would feel better if they said, you know what, Damian's running for office. He hasn't been able to put in the work. It takes a lot of work. You guys know that I've been involved with putting on events like that for a long time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, right? And if he's running for office, that takes a lot of work. And if he didn't have the time to make this happen, and so they're laying off for a year, that makes sense to me. If it's something else, though, then we need to be aware of that. I'm really concerned about conversation from Tallahassee about how do we get rid of the LGBTQ? I mean, you've seen DeSantis going to colleges, and he's affected, Mickey Mouse, and to make sure that we're not subtly under attack and we're not aware of it.
And this is the third legacy event that we've lost this fall, because yes, there's Pride Fort Lauderdale, there's GayOcho, and Smart Ride. Let's not forget that. That is a huge community event that is also going under for also a completely different reason, because times change, because methods of fundraising change. This is a period of transition, and we have to find out what's happening. And sometimes you just have to say, okay, this is where we're going to go. This is how we didn't anticipate going this way, but this is the way we're going.
On the upside, been many years, probably every year, it was an amazing event.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember the first year when everyone was shocked to see the old Cuban guys in Domino Park playing features with the drag queens. Oh, wow. And everybody was just listening to music, and everybody was having fun, and we were all pointing going, this is the point. I also remember many of the stores didn't want to be open on Gate the first year, because they were concerned about those people being there all day. And after they saw the success of the parade, that then every store wanted to be open. And the last year, if I remember correctly, they were telling me that the next block was like, how come you're not extending it down to our block?
Wow.
So it was doing what these things were meant to do, right? It was really, all of a sudden, the acceptance of the community was coming together. And so I'm really sad that it won't be there in January. Hopefully nothing bad is happening politically, and hopefully they'll be back in 2020.
We look forward to it.